Empire saw. Fractures healed by human hand. We renegotiate. Lyra squeezed Elias's arm. Her scales warmed against his skin. He kept his face neutral, scanning the hollows for threats. One lord's feed glitched. Keth's influence? Soren projected the alliance treaty. Lines glowed red. Earth Clause 12. Bonds as contracts.
I propose expansion. Cross-species unions bind diplomacy.
Legal. Enforceable. Gasps rippled through projections. Keth surged forward.
Tradition shatters. The air bonds a lesser. Soren's gaze pinned him.
He jammed the vault overload. Saved the crystal core. Your tradition would have burned us. Elias felt Lyra's crest brush his shoulder. Pride thrummed through the bond. He stayed silent, letting Valyri law play out. Keth's mandibles snapped. Petition the right of invalidation. The human lacks ordeal proof. Lyra stepped forward.
Denied. I petition Elias Ward as my official liaison.
Bond ties him to public accountability. Fail me, he falls with the crown. Projections murmured. Soren nodded once. Petition granted. Record it. Holostylus flashed, Elias's name etched into Valyri code. Irrevocable. He exhaled slow. No turning back. Keth's projection flickered out, dismissed. But Elias caught the Shadowcom blink in his wake. Game on. Nara Sale gripped Elias's shoulder outside the chamber. Guard reforms. You lead. Elias nodded, disruptor still warm in his pocket. Corridors hummed with repair drones. Ordeal chamber first. Traps kill more than they test. They marched to the vaulted pit. Spiked floors, emitter webs, illusion veils. Valyri guards trailed, crests low.
Nara waved them back.
His call. Elias paced the edge. Reform 1. Physics over pain. Convert to safety lab.
Test gear here, not bodies.
Nara's eyes narrowed. Ordeal proves worth. Weak fall. Physics doesn't care. He pulled a scanner from his kit. Beamed the emitters. Elias Ward strode onto the towering obsidian dais, treaty seal clutched in his fist. The vast hall of Vol Prime echoed with the rustle of 1,000 alien robes. Queen Soren's multifaceted eyes locked on him from her throne, her iridescent scales gleaming under the crystal chandeliers. He extended the seal, a polished earth alloy etched with mutual defense clauses. Your Majesty, Elias said, voice steady. Earth stands ready. Saren's clawed hand rose. Protocol demanded she accept it alone. Princess Lyra shattered the formation. She surged from her position at the Queen's right, silk robes flaring like comet tails. Before Elias could react, her arms wrapped around him in a full bonding embrace, her body pressed flush against his, palms sealing to his wrists. Heat bloomed, sharp, electric. A glowing mark etched itself into his skin, pulsing violet. The entire palace went silent. No whispers. No shifts. Thousands of Valcourtiers froze, their compound eyes wide. Elias felt Lyra's heart thunder against his chest, her breath hot on his neck. The mark burned, linking them in a way he'd only read about in briefings.
He didn't pull away.
Queen Surin shot to her feet. Lyra! Chamberlain Kethvarun slammed his staff. The crystal head cracked against the floor, sending shockwaves through the stone. Interdiction Clause 47. No off-worlder may partake in the rite of Falver. The human is contaminant. Ceremony frozen. Guard snapped to attention. Captain Nara Sale gripped her plasma lance, eyes flicking between Lyra and the throne. Her tail twitched, betraying doubt. Elias met Soren's gaze over Lyra's shoulder. The princess clung tighter, her claws pricking his uniform without breaking skin. Mother, Lyra said, voice unyielding. The bond chose. Law recognizes it.
Keth whirled on her. Law forbids it.
He lacks the Volkesh, the soul echo. This mockery topples the line. Sori raised a hand. Lock the hall. None leave until I command. Doors sealed with hydraulic hisses. Courtiers murmured now, a rising tide of chitness clicks. Elias scanned the faces, nobles with crests, flared in outrage, diplomats exchanging data glances. His wrist throbbed, the mark visible to all, a human arm bearing Val script that translated in his mind. Eternal weave. Envoy Ward, Soren demanded, descending one throne step, her voice cut like vibroblade. Explain the contact mark. How did you induce this? Elias gently pried Lyra's hands free, though she resisted. He held up his wrist. The glow faded to a steady shimmer. I didn't induce anything, Your Majesty. We've met before, negotiations on the border skirmish. She touched my arm then.
Accident. But this...
He glanced at Lyra. Her eyes, golden slits, held fierce resolve. This feels real.
Keth barked a laugh. Real?
Humans shed skin cells like vermin. Your accidents corrupt. I move for annulment. Execute the contaminant to purify the air. Nara stepped forward, lance low. Chamberlain, stand down. The envoy stopped the Clythe incursion last cycle. My scouts confirm his tactics saved 3 hives. Keth's crest flattened. Irrelevant. Protocol is stability. Lyra spun to face her mother, still gripping Elias's hand. The bond hummed between them, a shared pulse he felt in his veins.
Protocol bends to the weave, Mother. The mark appeared in private contact, but I claim it public.
Witnesses see. To deny is to fracture the throne.
Soren's scales rippled, calculating. She circled Elias, sniffing the air.
Her nostrils flared at his scent, mingled now with Lyra's pheromones.
Human? You fix crises.
Prove it now. Why risk execution for this? Elias squared his shoulders. Humility kept him alive in a dozen systems. Not risking for show. Last month, your border patrol missed Cliff cloaks. I recalibrated their sensors. Manual override, no tech. Saved your vanguard. Lyra saw it. She thanked me. Touched my wrist. If this bond means what I think, it's mutual. Earth needs this alliance.
Your empire needs it more.
Courtiers hissed. Keth thrust his staff. Lies. He manipulates the weave. Test it, Lyra snapped. She yanked Elias's sleeve higher. The mark shares essence. Soren hesitated, then grasped his wrist. Her claws hovered, then pressed. Her eyes widened. Valkesh echoes. Faint, but true. She released him. Recoiling. Impossible. Human biology rejects bonding.
Not rejecting, Elias said.
Adapting. He'd felt it during the skirmish fix, Lyra's frustration mirroring his own drive to solve. Their minds synced then, unspoken. Nara nodded. Captain's log. Envoy predicted cliff strike 2 cycles early. No Valseer matched it. Keth slammed his staff again. Seers are tradition. This mongrel bond invites chaos. Nobles will revolt. A noble in the front row crested high. The Queen's line dilutes. The Queen's line dilutes. Execute them both. Murmurs swelled to roars. Guards shifted, lances humming. Soren silenced them with a gesture. Enough. She faced Lyra. Daughter, you wield law as weapon, but this shatters court. Rescind in, or I must. Lyra stepped in front of Elias, body shielding his. Rescind the weave? It kills us both. Her tail coiled around his leg, possessive, protective. Elias felt her fear through the bond, sharp as his own pulse. He placed a hand on her shoulder. Steady. Your Majesty. Collaboration, not conquest. Earth Tech plus Vol weaves equals unbeatable front. Cliff won't touch us. Keth sneered.
He bargains while contaminated. Soren's eyes narrowed on Elias. Prove loyalty.
Disclose your full negotiation logs.
Elias activated his wrist comm. Holologs projected. Timestamps. Skirmish saves. Lyra's private thanks. All here. No secrets. Nara scanned it mid-air. Verified.
He hit nothing.
Tampered.
Soren's claw shot out, pinning his staff.
Stand down, Chamberlain.
Or join the locked. Keth froze, crest limp. The Queen paced, robes whispering. Elias watched her weigh it. Tradition versus the mark's proof. Lyra squeezed his hand, her warmth grounding him amid the stairs. Princess, Soren said finally.
You forced my hand. She turned to the hall.
The bond stands, provisionally. Envoy Ward integrates under guard. Chamberlain, draft the renegotiation, or forfeit your seal. Keth bowed rigid, as commanded. Courtiers erupted, half cheers, half outrage. Nara waved her guards to Elias's side, not as prisoners but escorts. Lyra leaned into him, whispering. We weave together now. Elias nodded, mark pulsing. But Keth's glare promised knives in the dark. Sorry, locked eyes with him. Fix this scandal, human. Or it ends you both. The door is unsealed. Chaos beckoned. Elias had crises before. None like loving across stars. Elias stepped through the unsealed doors, Lyra's hand still clasped in his. Courtiers swarmed the antechamber like a cresting wave, their iridescent scales flashing under dome lights. Shouts collided. Praise from Lyra's allies, hisses from traditionalists. Chamberlain Keth Varun shoved through the press, staff slamming the marble floor. Halt! This provisional farce ends now. His crest flared crimson, eyes locked on Elias. You call it a bond. I call it treason with paperwork.
Nara's guards formed a wedge, blasters humming low.
Elias tightened his grip on Lyra. Her scales warmed against his skin, the bond mark on his wrist throbbing in sync. He scanned the mob. No clear exit. Chaos would crush them before knives did.
Translator Slate, Elias said, voice cutting through the din. He held out his free hand to Nara.
Official 1. Nara paused, glancing at Lyra. The princess nodded sharp. Captain Sale unclipped a crystal slab from her belt and slapped it into Elias's palm. It hummed alive, projecting Valyri script in glowing blue. Keth sneered, circling like a predator. A human toy won't save you. Recite if you dare, but prove consent under Valyri law first. Elias activated the slate, word scrolled, ancient bonding rite, verbatim from the archives he'd studied during endless negotiations. He read aloud, slate amplifying his voice to echo off vaulted ceilings. By crest and claw, I claim the mark. Blood to blood, will to will. No force, no feint. Eternal weave. Courtiers fell silent. Scales rippled in shock. Humans recited Valyri law like breathing. Aliens memorized it through neural imprints. Elias had logged every variant during border skirmishes. Clith raiders tested them weekly. Keth's staff jabbed air inches from Elias's chest. Paratry. Consent requires dual witness under the third veil. Where are yours? Or did the princess coerce you? Contaminant. Lyra stepped forward, breaking from Elias's side. Her robes swirled, crest erect and golden.
Coerce. I offered truth.
She pressed a claw to her temple. A faint glow pulsed there, a vow-recording crystal embedded since birth. The chamber gasped. Public activations were for coronations, not scandals. Lyra's voice rang clear slate, translating flawlessly. I, Lyra Vol, heir of Soren, claim Elias Ward by the third veil. I, consent witnessed. My blood mark on his flesh, his echo on mine. Crystal seals it. Law binds it. Deny it peril of the throne. The crystal flared. Hollow projections burst forth, their private ceremony in the garden alcove, timestamps matching Elias's logs. Lyra's claw nicking his wrist. His willing palm pressing her scale. Mutual chance, no duress. Public now, undeniable.
Keth recoiled but recovered fast. Tampered.
Human tech, verified, Nara barked. Her scanner beeped confirmation midair. Crystal pure. Logs sync. Elias watched Keth's crest droop, then flare again. The chamberlain whirled to the queen's dais, where Surin observed from shadowed steps. Majesty, invalidate this. Tradition demands exile, or execution. Sarin rose, claws clicking on her throne arm. Her eyes, multifaceted like cut obsidian, fixed on Elias. Tradition bends to proof, Chamberlain. But scandal festers. She gestured to Nara. Captain, escort Envoy Ward to the sterile suite. Full quarantine protocols. No further contact with the princess. Nara saluted, motioning her squad. Guards closed ranks around Elias, polite but firm. Lyra reached for him, claws grazing his arm.
Mother. Obey. Sarin snapped. Her voice cracked like thunder.
Or forfeit your claim. Lyra froze, scales paling to silver. Aaliyah squeezed her fingers one last time before guards pulled him away. Her eyes held his. Fierce, unyielding. The bond mark burned hotter. A silent promise. They marched him through twisting halls, courtiers parting like water. Whispers chased them. Human tamed the air. Clythe laughs at our weakness. Elias kept pace, mind racing. Sterile suite meant isolation, scanners, null fields to block bonds. Standard for contaminants. He'd turn it to advantage. Nara walked beside him, blaster holstered but hand ready. You fixed the Clythe logs clean, she muttered. Saved 3 patrols last cycle. Why risk this? Elias met her gaze. Risk got us here. Fixes the rest. She grunted, crest twitching amusement. Doors hissed open to a stark chamber. White walls, humming airlocks. A single cot and console.
No windows.
Quarantine sealed behind him with a thud. Elias dropped his kit on the cot. Wrist cone blinked. Logs still open.
He patched a secure line to Earth Relay, Diplo Prime, Ward.
Scandal hit critical. Bond public. Queen quarantines. Send cultural briefs on Valyri renegotiations. Priority. Static crackled.
Confirmed. ETA, 2 hours.
Stay alive, Elias.
He cut the link. paced the 10 steps of his cage. Keth would draft terms to gut the alliance, invalidate the bond, blame human aggression. Soren played long game. She'd use it to consolidate. A chime. Holo panel flickered. Lyra's face appeared, distorted by Nullfield. Elias. I fight from here. Stay sharp, he said.
Keth moves fast. Her claw traced the screen.
Crystal protects us. Mother weighs stability. Show her your worth. He nodded. Footsteps outside. Nara entered with a tray. Nutrient-paced water. Queen's orders. Sustain the asset. She set it down, eyes scanning him. Keth petitions the Veil Conclave. Claims your recitation bypassed consent rights. He'll lose. Slate was court issue. Nara leaned against the doorframe. You humans. Fix without claws. My squad ran sims on your logs. We'd lost the frontier without them. Teamwork, Elias said. Your raiders hold the line. I just spot the gaps. She straightened at a comm buzz. Conclave assembles. Queen summons you. Under guard. Elias wiped his hands. Stood. Lead on. They hustled back to the grand hall. Tension thickened the air. Courtiers clustered, crests rigid. Keth stood at the dais base, scrolls unrolled. Soren loomed above, flanked by advisors.
Envoy, the Queen intoned.
Chamberlain charges procedural treason. Recite the counter right. Bind it legal. Elias took the offered slate from Nara. Courtiers leaned in. He spoke the words again. Precise, counter to challenge. Consent dual sealed. Crystal witness, mark eternal. Veil upholds.
Keth thrust a claw. Prove human capacity.
Valyri bonds demand neural sync. Your soft flesh can't. Lyra burst from a side arch, crystal glowing at her temple.
Test it.
She extended her arm. Bond mark mirrored Elias's, pulsing blue. Gasps. Probes extended, scanning both. Readouts holoflashed, sync at 98%. Keth's staff clattered. Impossible. Fact? Soren said. Her crest smoothed to regal azure.
Bond legal.
She eyed Elias. Renegotiate terms, human. Prove this strengthens us, or quarantine becomes grave. Nara gripped her blaster tighter. Elias nodded. Mark steady. Keth slunk back, but his glare sharpened, plotting deeper cuts. Lyra smiled faint across the hall. Cultures clashed, but they wove tighter. Hours blurred into negotiation pits. Elias pored over Keth's drafts at a guarded table, Nara watching his back. Invalidate mark. One read. Exile human. He countered with holo maps. Clive incursions halted by joint ops. Bond stabilizes frontier. Lyra's claim unites houses. Elias crouched under the suite's air intake grate, flashlight beam cutting through dim Valyri script etched into the ducts. His fingers mapped the flow. Main trunk from the palace core, branching left to his bedchamber, right to the antechamber where Lyra sometimes slipped in for sync checks. A hiss escaped the filter canister. Wrong size, matte black instead of standard chrome. He pried it loose. No seals. Fresh tampering. Pulse quickened through the bond mark on his wrist. Lyra felt it too, a distant flicker of alarm from her negotiation pit across the palace. He grabbed a teacup from the service tray, poured water, soaked a towel scrap. Heat plate from the same tray glowed under his thumb. He jury-rigged the trap, cloth draped over the canister slot. Water misted to catch particulates, plate warming it to condense vapors. Fan kicked on. Minutes ticked. Residue bloomed. Iridescent sheen on the cloth. Sharp chemical tang biting his nose. He snapped a hollow pick, strode to the door. Captain Nara stood guard outside, blaster low. Captain. Toxin test. Your sweep, now. Nara's crest flared yellow. Caution. She snatched the cloth, sniffed, recoiled. Neurolysin. Palace grade. Who accessed? He tapped the holo. Filter mismatch. Intake rigged post-inspection. Someone wants me breathing less. Her eyes narrowed on the pick. Bond mark pulsed warmer. Lyra's approval threading through. Nara keyed her comm. Sail to security teams. Full sweep, diplomat wing. Air systems priority. Quarantine protocols. Guards double-timed past. Scanners whining. Elias leaned against the doorframe, watching Nara direct. Human lungs burned from the trace vapor, but he breathed steady. Valyri noses overloaded on particulates, his filters held. Lyra's warmth surged. Careful. He sent back calm through the sink. Handled. Footsteps clacked. Chamberlain Keth Varun swept in, robes swirling, staff clinking like judgment. Courtiers trailed, crests spiking red outrage.
Seal the wing! Contaminant breach!
Keth's claw jabbed Elias. Human planted, obvious ploy. Force proximity to the princess, bond her into scandal. Nara blocked him. Residue scans first. Chamberlain. Evidence. Evidence, Keth snarled, thrusting the staff. Hollow seals bloomed, locking bulkheads. Air recyclers hummed louder, isolating the sweet block. This soft flesh envoy rigs toys from tea trays. No Valyri would stoop. He contaminates to cling. Queen Sorin will see treason. Elias held up the canister. Scan it. Tamper marks fresh. Your protocols missed them.
He felt Lyra's fury spike through the mark, sharp as a blade.
Guards hauled in analyzer drones. Probes pierced the filter. Readouts flashed. Neurolicin traces matched to black market Clith suppliers. Keth's crest paled. Coincidence. Humans smuggled? Log says you cleared the wing yesterday. Nara's voice cut steel. Your seal stamp. Keth whirled on her. Loyalty fractures, Captain. This bond weave poisons you. Elias stepped forward, voice level. Test the cloth. My rig caught what your gear missed. Human trick. Wet cloth traps finds your dry filters ignore. Drones hummed over the towel. Confirmation hollow bloomed. Pure neurolicin condensate. Courtiers hissed. One whispered, Earth lungs. They endure. Nara gripped her blaster. Chamberlain, stand down. Assassination confirmed. Queen notified. Keth's eyes locked on Elias, venomous. Bond invalidates succession. Houses fracture. He spun, robes snapping, comm crackling to allies. Bulkheads groaned as seals tightened. Elias retreated to the suite. Lyra's sink flooding relief. And heat. You saw it. Saved us. Her presence tugged, intimate across stone walls.
He sealed the door, checked vents, air cycled clean now.
But Keth's move locked him here, with Lyra's chambers adjacent. Goal shifted. Renegotiate from isolation. Prove the bond's worth before purge orders flew. Comm buzzed. Queen Sorin's voice, icy. Diplomat ward. Explain this T-trap. Keth claims sabotage. Practical fix, Majesty. Human improvisation. Caught what Palace Tech overlooked. Cliff toxin. Your frontier foes. Silence. Then, Captain Nara vouches? Affirmative. Nara's voice overlapped. Human competence saved lives. Sweep expands. Sorin's crest tone smoothed. Intrigue deepens. Lyra joins you. Sync test under guard. Renegotiate here. Prove strength or face quarantine. Door hissed. Lyra entered. Crystal at temple pulsing blue. Guards flanked. She crossed to him, arm brushing his. Bond marks aligned, sync humming 98%. Keth overreaches. You foiled him. Elias nodded, warmth spreading. Not foiled. Cornered. He accuses to discredit us. Her claw traced his mark. Us. Soft word. Heavy. Courtiers outside murmured, taboo touch in view. Nara posted at the door.
Secure. But Keth rallies houses.
Vote incoming, invalidate bond. Lyra's eyes hardened. We counter. Show data, joint ops halted 3 incursions. Human tactics, Valyri blades. Red Cliff pulls up hollow maps on the suite console. Red Cliff pushes faded post bond. Stability, your mother's throne holds. Queen's face hollow joined. Old claim human. Keth drafts exile. Prove toxin ties to him. Or Lyra yields airship.
Conflict nodded. Elias felt Lyra's resolve steal through sync.
He rigged another display. Air system sim highlighting Keth's access logs. Trace it, your drones will. Sorin signaled. Tex. Probes linked. Logs unspooled. Keth's override, time-stamped hours ago. Keth's comm burst in. Fabrication. Human hack. Enough. Sorin's command silenced him. Arrest pending. But power shifts. Elias Ward. Bond legal, yet unprecedented. Humans sync like Valyri. Renegotiate alliance now. Full terms. Lyra gripped Elias's hand. Public. Gasps echoed halls. Her crest flushed violet, claiming. Elias met her gaze. Terms joint command. Shared tech. Humans fix crises. Valyri rule stars. Sorin leaned in. Accepted. Provisionally. Fail frontier test and quarantine graves await. Teams report. Secondary toxin in Keth's quarters. Revelation hit. Keth's plot cracked, but his allies lurked, houses plotting deeper. Lyra pressed close, sink blazing. We weave tighter. Elias nodded, her scent, spice and crystal grounding him. Cultures clashed, but human grit and Valyri fire forged ahead. Hours ground on. Elias poured drafts at the console, Lyra at his side. Keth's exile clause he struck. Bond unites, she added, Valyri law. Heir protected.
Nara watched thence.
But whispers grow. Queen signed prelims. Test tomorrow. Simulate cliff strike. Prove the pair. Bond thrummed, Lyra's thrill mirroring his focus. They rose, hands linked.
Scandal birthed strength, but a guard calm crackled. Keth escaped custody.
Houses mobilize. Lyra's claw tightened. The real war ignited. Queen Sorin's claw slammed the dais. Tribunal convenes. Elias Ward, step forward. No counsel. Speak your truths. Elias straightened in the shadowed chamber. Valyri guards flanked the arched doors, their crests rigid. Lyra stood at his side, but Sorin's glare pinned him alone. The queen's violet eyes bored in, calculating every human twitch. Air hummed with synced tension. Lyra's pulse raced through their bond, hot and defiant. Keth's escape burned fresh. Houses mobilizing meant knives in the dark. Elias met Sorin's stare. Your Majesty, I request Princess Lyra's presence. This concerns our bond. Sorin's crest flickered gold. Amusement or trap?
Denied. She broke protocol first.
You, human. Answer now. How did you forge this sync? Valyri bloodlines alone claim such links. Elias kept his voice steady. No panic. Humans fixed crises with facts, not flair. Not forged. Emerged during the toxin breach. Our physiologies align. Your probes confirmed it. Logs show Keth's override, not my hack. Chamberlain Keth Varun sneered from the side bench, unbound despite Nara's report. His allies, 3 House Lords, whispered behind crystal screens. Keth's calm burst earlier. Fabrication, he'd claimed. Now he sat, eyes venomous. Lies. Keth spat. Human contaminant. Invalidate the bond. Exile him. Sorin raised a claw. Proof, Chamberlain. She turned back. Elias Ward. Your crises? Fixed fast. But this? Royal blood. Diluted. Explain the sync without sorcery. Elias glanced at Lyra. Her hand brushed his, sending spice-scent warmth. Through the bond, her resolve steadied him. He had an angle. Sync saves lives. Like the Clith sim tomorrow. But tradition matters. I offer a compromise oath. Public, on your vow crystal. Preserves royal dignity. No dilution. Joint vow. House Lords leaned forward. Sorin's eyes narrowed. Bold, and if rejected, test us. We pass, alliance holds. Fail, I leave. Keth bolted up.
Manipulation. He ensnares the heir.
Enough. Sorin signaled Nara. The captain's blade hissed free. Princess Lyra Val. Enter. Witness demands it. Doors parted. Lyra swept in, crest blazing violet. Gasps echoed. Public claim again. She ignored Keth, locked eyes with Elias. Bond thrummed. We end this. Sorin nodded to the central pedestal. Vow crystal glowed, facets pulsing like a heart. Speak your intent, heir. Leah placed her hand flat on the crystal. Light flared, sinking to her veins. Under witness law, I bind to Elias Ward, cross-species oath, shared command, crisis pact. Human grit mends what Valyri fire forges. Crystal warmed under his palm. No Valyri blood, yet it hummed, his normal physiology extraordinary to them.
He spoke clear. I vow loyalty to Valyri stars.
Fix crisis joint. No domination. Crystal blazed gold. Bond sealed public. Lords recoiled. Keth's face twisted purple.
Tradition challenge, Keth roared, slamming his seal staff. Immediate separation trial by ordeal.
Ancient right proved purity or sever. Sorin's claw hovered. Chamber froze. Nara tensed, hand on hilt. Lyra's grip crushed Elias's fear, spiked through sync, then steel. Granted, Sorin said. Ordeal at dawn. Frontier sim. Cliff strike. Survive separated, bond breaks clean. Fail, both perish. Ordeal meant no sync aid. Humans thrived solo, adapt, improvise. But Valyri relied on hive links. Lyra's thrill mixed dread in his chest. Keth smirked. Human dies first. Purity restored. Lyra pulled Elias close. We train now. Her scent grounded him. Spice and crystal resolve.
Halls buzzed with whispers.
House guards clustered thicker. Elias felt eyes. Opportunity or threat. In their quarters, Lyra activated HoloSim. Cliff vessels swarmed virtual space toxin spewing horrors. Separated means no bond cues. You lead your wing. I mine. Elias nodded, plotting vectors. Humans excelled at chaos math. Flank low. I draw fire. You purge cores. Standard Earth feint. She mirrored his moves flawlessly. Crest synced violet gold. Your feint Valyri call it genius. Hours blurred.
Nara burst in.
Keth rallies houses. Petition to arm or deal. Live weapons. Hot. Elias wiped sweat. Bond pulsed Lyra's fury. They want blood. Soren's calm chimed. Elias answered. Queen's face filled the hollow. Adjustment. Ordeal live, yes. Full court watches. Fail. No graves. Public execution. Succeed. Full alliance. Renegotiate power now. Lyra stepped into frame. Terms. Joint Fleet Command. Humans integrate tech. Saring's eyes gleamed. Add this. Prove human sync equals Valyri. No more scandals. Accepted. Elias extended hand. Holashake sealed it. Nara saluted. Perimeter secure. But Keth's shuttle pinged out a rim. Escaped again. Lyra's claw dug in. Elias tensed. Bond flared. Her love. Fierce. He squeezed back. Cultures clashed, but their weave held. Dawn neared. Sim ended in victory. Elias powered down. Ready? She kissed his knuckles. Claws gentle. Always. Guards marched them to the arena. Court packed tears. Soren throned high. Keth beside house lords. Vow Crystal hovered central, pulsing. Nara fitted harnesses. Separated fields activate on launch. Pods sealed. Elias is launched first. Void Sim engulfed him. Clythe swarms boiled. No Lyra's sink. Solo. He jinked hard. Human reflexes dodged plasma. Nara, status. Princess away. Keth's overriding fields. Bond flickers. Vectors locked. Feint initiated. Lyra's voice crackled open. Keth's sabotage. Pods converged. Cliff targeted merge point. Soren's command boomed arena-wide.
Cheat. Detected. Kaith. Chaos erupted.
Lords surged. Nara's guards clashed blades. Elias punched engines. Together, they purged the swarm. Human precision, Valyri fire, crystal blazed acceptance. Pods docked. Elias emerged. Lyra crashed into him, crest violet blaze. Keth fled the dais. Nara tackled him mid-stride. Soren rose. Bond ratified. Alliance eternal. Cheers drowned traitors' shouts. Elias held Lyra. Human grit met royal fire. Power renegotiated. But a house lord's whisper reached Elias's ear, coming hacked. Keth was pawn. Real war, your child. Lyra's hand went to her abdomen. Bond confirmed. Spark of life. Scandal reignited. Elias gripped Lyra's waist as the court's cheers fractured into shouts. House lords surged forward, crests flaring crimson. Keth twisted in Nara's hold, scales gleaming with sweat. The bond profanes. A Valyri heir carries human seed, unratified. Soren's claws dug into her throne. Her gaze locked on Elias. Chamberlain speaks truth. Tradition demands the endurance ordeal.
Separate survival in the pressure vault. Synchronized breath or rupture lungs.
Fail, and the bond voids. Lyra's crest pulsed violet against Elias's chest. Her claws pricked his tunic. Through their link her resolve flooded him, fierce, unyielding. Elias met the queen's eyes. I accept the ordeal terms.
He pivoted to Nara, who held Keth upright.
Captain, basic toolkit and a timer. Now. Nara's frill twitched. She nodded once. Sharp, guards parted.
She shoved Keth to subordinates and sprinted from the arena.
Lords hissed. One spat. Human toys mock sacred right. Enough. Soren's voice cut crystal. Prepare the vault. Pods launch at cycle peak. Minutes blurred. Nara returned. Kit slung over shoulder. Timer disc clutched tight. She thrust them into Elias's hands. Wrenches. Seals. Pressure gauge. Timer sinks to vault pulse. 10 cycles. Ramp to lethal. Cool metal tools gleamed. He pocketed the timer. Lyra, with me. She followed him to the vault mouth, a yawning sphere of etched alloy, veins glowing blue. Pods waited inside, translucent shells side by side. Technicians swarmed linking harnesses. Keth wrenched free, robes torn. He stormed the dais edge.
Pods isolate. No contact.
Soren waved him silent. Elias climbed into his pod. Lyra entered hers. Seals hissed shut. Through the shell, her violet eyes burned into his. Timer beeped. Elias activated it. Red numerals flared. Cycle 1/10. Elias. Lyra's voice hummed through the bond, steady. Vault cycles pressure like ocean tides. Valeri sync crests. Inhale high, exhale low. He nodded, though she couldn't see. Panic clawed lesser men. Not him. Crises demanded calm. Human way first. Breathe with me. 4 counts in. Hold 4. 6 out, hold 2. Matches your tides? Her crest flickered doubt. Pods trembled. Vault doors ground closed.
Air thickened.
Trust.
He synced his breath. In 1, 2, 3, 4.
Hold. Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Hold.
Now. Match it. She inhaled sharp too fast. Pressure built, cycle 2 ticking.
Her scales paled. Bond hummed strain.
Slower. Elias pitched his voice low, rhythmic. In, with me. 1, 2, she mirrored. Inhale deepened. Pods groaned. Vault walls pulsed blue. Pressure valves hissing steam. Cycle 3. Elias's ears popped. Lyra's exhale synced. Bond steadied. Her fear ebbed. Nara's voice crackled over calm. Fields nominal. Kef locked down. Good. Elias scanned his pod. Gauges flickered. No anomalies yet. Cycle 4. Pressure crushed chest. Lyra gasped once. Desynced. Elias breathed louder. Hold the 4. Out slow. She latched on. Their rhythms wove. Bond thrummed harmony. Lords above jeered. But Soren watched, stone still. Cycle 5. A whine pierced the hum.
Elias's pod gauge spiked. Red line. He yanked the kit.
Valve failing. Yours too? Affirm.
Lyra's voice strained.
Technic sealed it ritual tight, no repairs.
Elias pried his panel. Wires sparked. Main valve hissed erratic. Gasket torn, pressure swinging wild. Lethal in 2 cycles. Stay synced. He wedged a wrench. Twisted. Steam scalded his knuckles. Ignore. Gauge dipped. He slapped a seal patch over the tier. Torque wrenched tight. Swing halted. Timer. Cycle 6. Pods equalized. Lyra's eyes widened through glass. You fixed it? Basic maintenance. Elias wiped sweat. Earth shuttles leak worse.
Breathe. Her crest blazed violet.
Sync deepened. Bond sang. Admiration. Heat. Vault shuddered. Cycle 7. Pressure peaked. Bones creaked. Lyra matched flawless. No swing. No rupture.
Keth's roar boomed external.
Halt. Procedure forbids intervention. Void the trial. Soren leaned forward. Chamberlain, dare you overrule sacred procedure? Kef jabbed a claw at the pods.
Human contaminant. Eject him.
Lords bade agreement. Guards shifted, uneasy. Nara barked orders, blades drawn.
Elias ignored.
Breathe in. Hold. Out. Cycle. 8. Ticked. Lyra's hand pressed her pod wall toward his. Bond pulsed. We're enough. Cycle 9. Walls groaned max. Lyra's scales flushed deep indigo. Endurance sign. Their breaths echoed 1. Keth lunged at controls. Override. Flood lethal. Nara tackled him again. Blades clashed. Sarin surged from throne. Stand down, timer blared. Cycle 10. Pods vented. Pressure crashed safe. Seals popped open. Elias stumbled out first. Lyra launched into him, claws rapping, crest grinding his jaw. We endured. Vault crystal flared green overhead. Ratified. Court split. Cheers from Soren's allies. Lords howled outrage. Keth thrashed under Nara. The child. Human taint breeds weakness. Soren descended steps, robes swirling. Her gaze pierced Lyra's abdomen. Air confirmed. Bond endures both. Bond hummed truth. Spark quickened. Their child. But Keth's laugh rasped. Stability crumbles. Houses rise. Your hybrid ends the line.
Cells.
Sauron faced Elias.
You patched what we ritual break. Calm where we shatter. Renegotiate. Now or war. Lyra's claws dug in. Elias nodded. Together, lords whispered. One slipped away into shadows. Bond prickled. Threat lingered. Not Keth. Deeper. Elias scanned tears. A cloaked figure vanished. Lyra. That lord? Her eyes narrowed.
House Drace. They plot succession.
Sorin's frills spiked.
Guard the air. Diplomat. Your tools saved her. Use them again. Nara saluted. Kit still clutched. My squad. Yours now. Elias walked Lyra out, hand on her abdomen. Spark fluttered. Human grit, Valyri fire, power shifted, but arena shadows hid eyes. Whisper hid his calm again. Child lives. Empire fractures. Choose, run, or rule. Elias crushed the device. Calm won the room. Lyra leaned in. Feel it? Our bridge. He kissed her crest. Yeah, and they fear it. Guards flanked. Corridor lights dimmed. Footsteps echoed. Pursuit? Nara spun.
Ambush vector! Blades flashed. Elias grabbed a dropped wrench.
Breathe steady. Fight smart. Lyra ignited plasma claws. For the spark, they charged. Human fix, alien fury. Alliance forged in breach. Deeper halls rang with clash. Lord Drace's men poured in, crests black with treason. Elias dodged a swipe, wrench cracking scale. Lyra burned 2 down. Nara bellowed. To the queen's wing. Elias patched a falling grate mid-leap. Saved a guard. Valyri gaped. How? Timer said 3 seconds. He grinned. Lyra laughed, Bond Electric. They burst into throne antechamber. Sauron waited, flanked by loyalists. Drace's plotter knelt chained. The whispering lord. Confess. Sauron's claws extended. He spat. Hybrid weakens us. Keth tool, yes. But queen, your stability dies with it. Sauron glanced. Elias, Captain Nara's squad dragged the chained medic forward. Scales scraped stone. The court medic's gloves gleamed under throne lights. Same iridescent residue as the toxin vial Elias had flagged earlier. Elias stepped closer, eyes locked on the stains. Check the cuffs. Matches the arena poison exactly. Nara's claws snapped out. She yanked the medic's hands up. Residue flaked onto her gauntlet scanner. Alarm blared. Positive trace. Contaminant confirmed. The medic hissed. Protocol inspection only. Lies. Nara signaled her guards. 2 Valyri hauled the medic away, chains rattling. Court gasped. Whispers rippled. Queen Sauron rose from her throne. Her crest flared crimson. She fixed Chamberlain Keth Varun with a stare that silenced the hall. You cleared every attendant. This toxin passed your watch.
Keth's scales paled. He bowed low, voice steady.
Majesty. A rogue element. Protocol remains pure. Pure, Sauron's tail lashed. She extended a claw, projecting the scanner log onto the throne hologram. Lines traced? Medic to Keth's office, then arena prep. Your seal. Your failure. I strip your protocol authority. Effective now. Keth stiffened. His faction lords with black-tipped crests shifted in the crowd. Eyes darted. Elias caught the flicker. Tension coiled in his gut. He edged toward Lyra, hand brushing her side. Her abdomen warmed under his palm, the spark steady. Lyra leaned into him. He fractures. Keth straightened. His voice boomed, invoking ancient code. Succession emergency. Heir compromised by contaminant bond. I claim custody of Princess Lyra under Clause 47. Preserve the line. Gasps erupted. Keth's faction surged forward. Blades hissed free. Loyalists countered. Plasma claws igniting. Chaos brewed. Nara bellowed.
Stand down!
Her squad formed a wedge around Lyra. Elias's mind raced. Clause 47. Emergency override. Public challenge. But the vow crystal. Lyra's bonding relic hung at her neck, pulsing with their shared light. It recorded everything. Vows, truths, signals. Valyri law made it unbreakable broadcaster in crises. He snatched the crystal from Lyra's collar. Trust me. Her eyes widened. Elias, Keth lunged, claws aimed at her.
Seize the air!
Elias activated the crystal. It hummed, linking to the palace's vownet. The live feed tradition that broadcasted royal oaths to every screen in the Empire.
He synced it to the throne projector first. Hologram flared.
Keth's signal phrase, whispered earlier in the plotter's confession, blared from the crystal's recording. Fracture the line. Hybrid dies. The plotter's voice chained it to Keth. Keth's orders. Poison the bond. Court froze. The vow net kicked in. Every display in the palace lit up. The phrase echoed hall-wide, then beyond, to outlying wings. Comms, Empire feeds. Keth whirled.
False. Tamper, crystal doesn't lie.
Saren's voice cut like plasma.
Valyri law. Vow records bind truth. Your phrase, your treason. Keth's faction faltered. Blades lowered. Lords recoiled, crests drooping.
One muttered, "Signal confirmed. He's done."
Nara's guards tackled Keth. He thrashed, scales cracking under grips. The human twists our ways. Elias pocketed the crystal shard. Backup synced. He met Soren's gaze. Calm held. Tradition did the work. Soren nodded once. Sharp. Her eyes lingered on Lyra's abdomen. The bridge holds. Lyra gripped Elias's arm. Her claws retracted. Touch gentle. You saw the net. Used it. Problem solver. He squeezed her hand. Spark jumped. Warm. Alive. But shadows lingered at the hall's edge. A lord slipped away. Calm buzzing. Elias tensed. Not over. Nara hauled Keth to the queen's feet. Interrogate? Soren loomed. Full confession. Broadcasted. Keth spat. You doom us. Human taints the throne. Taint? I fixed your arena breach, patched the grate, saved your guard. Valyri murmured. The guard he'd rescued nodded. 3 seconds. Human math. Soren's crest eased. Evidence mounts. Keth, your moves end here. He snarled, but chains bit deep. Nara dragged him out. Faction lords knelt, oaths pouring.
Lyra pulled Elias close.
Our spark. Strength. Skin tingled against scale. But whispers remain. Queen Soren descended the throne steps. Her presence parted the crowd. She stopped before them, gaze flicking between human and air. Diplomat ward. Your fix binds deeper than claws. Just the job, Majesty. She extended a claw, not threat, but touch. Brushed Lyra's abdomen. Light pulsed brighter. The child senses it. Valyri fire human steady. Renegotiate we must. Kor watched. No backlash now. Awe rippled. Captain Nara returned. Kit slung. Medic cracked. Keth supplied the toxin. Drace's network runs deeper off-world contacts. Soren's eyes hardened. Rooted out. Eyes still watched from balconies. The crushed comms whisper echoed in memory. Choose. Run or rule. Lyra's hand tightened. We rule.
He nodded. Palace hummed with fresh feeds, the crystal's truth looping empire-wide.
Power shifted, but fractures hid. A distant alarm wailed. Nara spun. Breach, outer gates. Saren's claws ignited. 2 arms. Elias grabbed a guard's spare stun rod. Lyra's plasma flared beside him. They charged as one. Deeper intrigue brewed. The real test loomed. Nara's squad burst into the corridor. Blaster fire cracked from side passages. Elias ducked, rod humming. He spotted the pattern, treasoners funneling to the vaults. Flank left, he called. Valyri pivoted, plasma slicing drones. Lyra burned a path. Your eyes, sharp. Training, he cracked assailant's visor. Human reflex, alien power. They hit the vault antechamber. Keth's diehards barricaded it. Crates stacked, emitters charging. Soren arrived, loyalists flooding in. The crystal core. They target bonds. Elias eyed the setup. Emitters pulsed wrong. Overload imminent. 10 seconds to chain reaction. Jam the relays. Nara tossed him a disruptor. How? He wedged it in. Click. Pulse died. Vault secured. Valyri stared. Instinct? Physics. Soren sealed the door. Human bridge. We adapt. Lyra leaned against him, breath steady. Bond thrummed. Court feed still ran, the confession viral. Empire watched, but one lord's calm glinted in the shadows. Empire fractures, it whispered. Not yet. Queen Soren turned to the throne holos. Deeds showed uprisings quelled, oaths renewed. Stability holds. For now, Lyra's crest brushed his. Our choice, public, unbreakable. He felt the spark kick. Tiny, fierce, yeah. Human grit meets Valyri fire. Nara saluted.
Squad stands with the bridge.
Soren's gaze pierced. Renegotiate tomorrow. Tonight, guard the spark. Corridors quieted, but Elias caught the flicker. A hidden signal in the VowNet code.
Keth's last play? He synced the crystal again.
Truth would hunt it. Power realigned. Love defied. Human meant more now. A final whisper hit his earpiece, stolen from a foe. Rule falls. Hybrid burns. Let them try. Queen Surin slammed her crest against the throne console.
Hollow screens flared to life across the grand chamber. Council assembles.
Now, Elias stood at Lyra's side, bond pulse steady in his veins. Illyri lords flickered in from distant spires, crests rigid, eyes locked on the human contaminant. Keth Varun's projection loomed largest, mandibles clicking fury. Majesty, the bond pollutes. Silence. Sarian's voice cut like crystal shard. She tapped the central feed. Viral clips looped. Lyra's public vow. Elias crushing the saboteur's calm.